Good morning, champs. I'm Josh Zepis, and I am privilege. Literally, I literally got straight A's in frickin' privilege. I'm white, I'm male, heterosexual, educated, middle class, like you name it, I got it. And if you don't think privilege exists, you're probably really frickin' privileged. So I'm not saying that I can understand fully what it's like to be black, or to be a woman, or to grow up in poverty, because I didn't. What I'm saying is I can definitely try to understand it. I can try to empathize with those that are being discriminated because of it, and I can definitely do the right thing simply because it's right. You see, I don't have to be black to understand that blacks being 30% more likely to be pulled over by the cops is wrong. I don't have to be a woman to understand that them getting paid 78 cents on every dollar that man makes for the same exact job is completely and utterly wrong. I don't have to be impoverished to understand that the climb out of poverty is intentionally incredibly steep and almost impossible, and that that's completely horrific and wrong. Welcome to the end of the silent, complicit majority. So our mission is to organize and focus the power of the privileged majority to uphold and defend the universal rights, moral and ethical rights of the affected minority in the furtherance of freedom, in the furtherance of equality of opportunity and justice. See, it's not enough to be unbiased anymore. We have to be anti-bias. So I was rereading one of the letters Dr. King wrote while he was sitting in a Birmingham jail in 1963. And he lamented about something he called the white moderate, the person that wasn't outwardly racist, but they were just silent. They were just allowing things to happen, and they were okay with it. And I think the point he was making was that until the white moderate got involved, until the white moderate joined hand in hand with the people that are being oppressed, that nothing was going to change. Right? Nothing of significance was going to happen. And I think he was spot on. So if you look at George Floyd's murder, for example, obviously horrific, the cop that was keeping his knee on George's neck and cutting off his life. That was absolutely terrible, and it pissed me off. But there's something else that pissed me off. It was that other cop, the one standing right there, that wasn't even looking at it, that was looking the other way because he knew it was wrong, and he knew he had no intention whatsoever of doing anything about it, so he couldn't even look. That's the problem, folks. See, this isn't us versus them. That's not the battle here. It's not white versus black. The battle is the systems that are in place, put in there by whites, put in there by people of power, and that want to keep it that way, versus all us other majority whites that are just okay with it, that are silent, that are complicit, that are okay with this happening. So let me give you an example. Have you ever noticed have you ever seen someone wearing a Nazi uniform around town? Of course not. It's not acceptable. You don't see it. You don't even see it at Halloween parties anymore. Like if someone showed up at a store with a Nazi uniform on, they're getting the police called on them. They're going to get arrested for disturbing the peace. That's what's going to happen. So that's just not acceptable anymore. When we decide as the majority that racism, that misogyny, that discrimination about anything, about sexual orientation, about poverty, about all these things, when we decide that crap is no longer acceptable, then it's gone. But it's going to take all of us to do it. It's going to take all of the majority. If you're a white, if you're a male, if you're straight, whatever it is, if you're willing to fight for the minority, if you're willing to use some of that privilege, that's when things are going to change. So why EDGE? This is a really good question. Now I'm even still struggling with this one myself. It's really, really difficult, especially when you're privileged, to stick your head up among your other privileged friends and call out a wrong. You could be ostracized, you can lose your job, you can lose friends, and when you have a comfortable life, when you're doing okay, it can really upset the apple cart, so to speak. And I just felt like there was a need for an organization, for us to come together and support each other in this. Because I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. I know I'm not the only one that wants to do the right thing for everybody, that believes in equality of freedom for everybody. And we need some method to where we can learn, we can grow together, we can take some action when we're ready. That's the whole point of EDGE, is to provide that level of awareness and to give the opportunity to commit, to actually take something what we can contribute and do it for the good of humanity, right? Way beyond these lines that we draw. And so that's why EDGE has to exist. There's got to be a place where the majority in any aspect, race or otherwise, can congregate and can focus their power and make a difference, right? Support, get behind folks. We don't have to lead the way, but we just need to be there to help with critical mass, to help with movement. So how does it work? First, we listen. We listen, we ask questions. The one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to start coming in and trying to figure out solutions. That's one of the biggest mistakes the majority has always made. We always thought we could just go in, we know the problem, and we're just going to go start doing solutions. No. First thing is we listen, we connect, we partner. We're here as a supporting force, and that's the first step. The first step is to understand the problem, to have a little bit of humility, to think that maybe we just don't know it all. Maybe all the stuff we've been trying to fix, we've been really screwing up instead of actually fixing it. Second step is to start collating our talents, our skills. See, everyone's got something they can bring to the table. You might be an artist, maybe you're good at writing, maybe you're good at speaking, maybe you're good at organizing, protesting. Whatever the case is, whatever talent you have you can bring to the table, let's make sure we know what that is. Let's make sure we can collate that and we can use that talent because this is not a full-time job. The organization will never ask you to give up everything and let's go all in and do this. It's let's make best use of our time and our resources. And then third, I call protest, but not in the way you're thinking, not necessarily in demonstrating, but protesting the current rules, the rules that don't make sense or the rules that have to be put in place to ensure equality. And we do that through various ways. We do that through speaking out. We can do that through legislature. We can do that through sitting at the table, creating policy. There's many, many different ways. So here's my vision. Let me give you an example of my vision. Imagine women are finally, like, they're so sick and tired, something major event happens, and they're sick and tired of getting paid 78 cents on the dollar for what a man makes for the same exact job. Right? And they're marching, they're going to try and make change, they're going to the negotiating table. What if, along with those women that are fighting for their rights, there was 50 million men with them, next, arm in arm, walking with them, at the table with them, supporting them, amplifying their voice, maybe even going to the guys, like the guys in charge, the ones that want to keep the status quo, the ones in power up here. Maybe some of us go and like, hey dudes, come on, like cut the crap. This is stupid. You know this is wrong. Cut the crap. So now it's not men versus women. You see the difference? Now we changed the entire game. The entire game is different now. It's not men versus women. Now it's a small amount of men who want to keep the status quo from an outdated, misogynistic system. And the majority of people, men, women, and everything else, all saying this is the right thing. See, now the powerful up here can't just go, you can't look at women and call them, oh, they're just being bitchy or they're just being women. No, we're being humans and we're fighting for the right thing. It changes the rules of the game. There's no more us versus them because there's men here, there's men here. So it takes away gender. It takes away all these conflicts that are inherently built in some of these civil rights struggles. So that's part of my vision. Now do that with race. Now do that with sexual identity. Do that with poverty. Do that with education. All of the above. That's what this is about. So if you're still confused, let me just simplify. This is only about right versus wrong. And I promise the difference between right and wrong is a lot easier to discern than you may think. there's something called the golden rule or the platinum rule. They're really the same thing. The platinum rule is just a better worded version of the golden rule. But here's the thing. It's very, very simple. If you see someone in a situation, if you see a woman being discriminated against because she's a woman, and if you put yourself in that position and it makes you feel bad, or it makes you mad, or you see your mom or your sister in that same position and that suddenly triggers and makes you feel bad and you're like, this is wrong. Guess what? You're probably right. It's probably frickin' wrong. It's called having a little bit of empathy. So if you wouldn't want to be in a position some of these folks are in just based on something they never chose, like the color of their skin or their gender or their economic status, that you can probably make a judgment call based on that. So until the majority, until we decide to step up and support these folks and do the right thing, nothing's really going to change. So if you feel compelled, if this resonates with you in any sort of way, sign up, make sure you get on our list, make sure you stay connected. We're going to be opening up some more chapters across the country. We're going to be putting together some directives. We're going to let you know how, and when you're ready to, of course, but we're going to let you know how you can contribute. And I don't mean money, I'm talking effort, time, energy, system, talents, where you can go to connect in your community. We're going to be building this ground up, and we're going to be looking to partner with a lot of folks. So if you know any good partnerships that we can support, please let us know. And I'm excited, guys. We're in a whole new time right now. This is a complete game changer that we're going to accomplish here, and freedom for everyone is going to become at a lightning pace, and I'm excited for that. Please reach out, say hi, let me know what you think as well, and I appreciate you guys. I love you all, and take care.